flip around or crazy back and forth, and then it's gonna go down. So it's already gonna have an erratic pattern coming back. That's not a pattern, just an erratic retrieval. It's gonna look like an injured bait fish, and then you just let it drop.
Setting the hook with Jose.
What's up, everyone? It's Jose, and welcome to Setting the Hook. I appreciate y'all always tuning in, watching the show. Appreciate the love. But today, I want to talk about something near and dear to me. Why is it near and dear to me? Because it has absolutely slayed those fish this entire year. If I'm in a rough spot and I'm not catching anything, this is the bait that I'm going to pick up. And I am going to have the most confidence in. And you could have the best baits in the world, the best electronics in the world, the best rod and reel in the world, best reel in the world. But, if you don't have confidence in it, then what can you do? So what is that bait? What is that bait for me? Guess what? It's the fluke. And that's what I'm going to talk about today, is how to fish the fluke. I think sometimes we get wrapped up in all these different hard baits, big swim baits, this bait, that bait. So-and-so comes out with this bait and that bait. Sometimes we just forget the basics. And sometimes it's good to go back to the basics, because why? Everyone else is throwing all that new stuff, and the fish are going to see something different. So number three tip for fluke fishing is color. I only throw 3 colors. White with the chartreuse tail. I'll just dip that in some JJ's Magic. And the watermelon red flake. That's it. I keep it simple. Those are the only colors that I'm really going to throw. Now, if you're up north or you're at a lake that has a lot of herring, then of course you're going to get the herring colored fluke. So number 3, fluke selection. Number 2, the way to fish it. I'll fish it with ever is a 5/0 extra heavy, just like that. And I'll just rig it like I normally would, like a weightless Texas rig. Skin hook it, and there it is. Simple as that. Now, fishing it, I have the absolute most success is by just jerk, boom, jerk, pause. Because then you gotta let it flutter down. Jerk, pause, let it flutter down. So some of you might be asking, why a 5/0? Well, because it's already a big bait. So even though this hook comes all the way out to here, it still doesn't lose any tail action. Why an extra heavy? You don't have to use an extra heavy. In fact, I think that's just a regular heavy. So a heavy gauge is fine. It just helps me get the fluke down faster. Otherwise, you're gonna have to sit there and wait. Especially if it's a regular gauge hook, that's gonna take forever to flutter down. If you had the patience for that, cool. If not, get you an extra heavy gauge, extra heavy, and it'll get that down to the bottom a little bit faster. So that's all it is. Jerk, pause. Now, the size of the jerk, you can keep just quick ones like that, pop, sit, or big ones. If you do the big ones, the bait's gonna flip around or crazy back and forth, and then it's gonna go down. So it's already gonna have an erratic pattern coming back. That's not a pattern, just an erratic retrieval. It's gonna look like an injured bait fish, and then you just let it drop all the way down. The hit will come at different times. The hit might come on the jerk. The hit might come as it's fluttering down. The hit might come when you're completely dead sticky. Never know with these fish. And my number one tip for the fluke is to get out there and just do it. That's not no real secret. You know, I already covered the major parts of selecting the right one and then how to fish it. My number one tip out there is to go out there and figure out what the fish want. Even times like this, even though we're later on in the year, it's winter, but some places the fluke is still going to hit. This fluke is still going to hit because it looks like a single left out injured bait fish that's just dying down at the bottom. So get out there and figure out what kind of retrieval they want. Maybe they wanted to do this. Maybe they wanted to do that. Figure out what they want, but, you know, get confidence in this bait because I think this is a killer bait that a lot of fishermen nowadays don't utilize. So, talk about it, choosing it, how to fish it, and getting more confidence in this bait. But I appreciate you guys always watching. Let me know down in the comments below if there's something specific that you would like to see. And, you know, if I've got the knowledge on it, I hope to share it with y'all. But again, it's Jose, and I'm out.